What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on Buy Sell Cars TV. So today's video is going to be a rather interesting one. It's a question which I get asked all of the time. How do I start buying and selling cars from home? Well, in today's video we're going to be answering those questions. I'm going to be going through 5 different areas and I'll be giving my tips on how I feel you can succeed in this business. Hopefully this is going to be an insightful video for you guys, and hopefully you can take a lot of knowledge from this video as well. So let's go for a drive and go over those areas. I hope you enjoy the video, guys. Right guys, let's get straight into the video. So the first point we're going to be going over is educating yourself. Now, what do I mean by educating yourself? Well, it's important that you know the product you're selling. You know, you really need to have an understanding of it. And what I mean by this is, you know, choose a car that you're happy to sell. You know, once you've decided, do your homework on that car. Find out what are the common faults with this vehicle. The reason I say this is because you need to then find out what costs are involved in terms of, you know, getting those issues sorted. So, you know, if you come across a car that's got a common fault where the timing chain, you know, starts to stretch, or, you know, we have DPF issues, you need to know specifically for that car how much it's going to cost you. Otherwise, it's going to heavily affect your profit margin. So let's move on to point number 2. Point number 2 is buying. Now, buying is very important because this is where your profit margins are. You know, across the board, generally, you're going to sell your cars at the same price as your competition, but your buying is where you can make the difference. You know, if you get a car at a good price, you'll make more money, right? So my advice when it comes to buying is when you are looking on Auto Trader or Gumtree, you know, make sure the search bar is set to most recently listed. The reason this is because if you are the first person to call a car that's just been advertised and arrange a viewing, you're going to be the first person to put an offer in the car. And you'd be surprised, you know, when money's on the table, people do, you know, want to sell their car. You know, they may feel if it's a couple hundred quid than what they're less than what they were hoping, they'll just let it go because, you know, they don't want the ag of, you know, having to do more viewings. And at the same time, they're excited, they need the money to buy their new car. So that's my advice in terms of how to buy. Another point on this topic is when you are buying, make sure you really have learned and done your homework on that specific vehicle, as I mentioned on knowledge. You know, you really need to know, are there any faults with this car? Look for the common things which may be wrong, because this is going to cost you your profit margin. The person who's coming to buy the car off you, they may have done the homework and they'll know exactly where to look. And if they find something which you didn't, you know, they're going to use that as a bargaining tool. So you want to be able to use that as a bargaining tool yourself, and you want to use that as a bargaining tool, and in doing so this will allow you to get the repairs done and you can make a profit. By that I mean, if a clutch was going to cost you £250 to get repaired, you may be able to bargain £350 off the price of the vehicle, so you've already made £100 profit before you even advertise the car. Moving on to point number 3, preparation. Now, this is very important. You know, you need to make sure the car is in clean condition, and I always say it's well worth getting a car valeted. It doesn't cost that much money. You can drop it off to the hand car wash, in and out they can clean it for you, and they'll bring it back to, you know, very, very good condition. You know, genuinely, you'd be surprised at what a valet can do to a car. It can make a world of a difference. So that's the first point. Another point is if the MOT and the last service is sort of due in 6 months or below, I would recommend getting it done. Not only will this add value to when you're selling the car, you can ask for a slight higher premium, but it also just makes the car much more attractive to someone who's looking to buy a car. You know, it takes the pressure off the customer because they won't need to worry about, you know, will an MOT fail? The car's just been serviced, so everything's good to go. So it's well worth spending that little bit of money. You can get an oil and filter change along with an MOT done for about 100 quid these days. So it's not a big price, and in terms of the value it adds, it's well worth it. I'm moving on to point number 4. So point number 4 is how to present yourself. Now, the way you present yourself is very, very important. Now, you know, of course, you know, you can, you know, sell your cars in your shorts, in your tracksuit bottoms. There's nothing wrong with doing that. However, I feel it's really important when you meet someone to give a good impression, because when you meet a total stranger, you base things on what you see in front of you, right? So, you know, make sure you're dressed, you know, smart enough. I'm not saying, you know, go out in a suit, but, you know, just make yourself look presentable. This is really important when it comes to sort of building relationships with people, because people don't necessarily do business with, you know, the product that they're looking to buy. A lot of people do business specifically with people. What I mean by that is you can go and look at the most amazing car you've seen for sale, and if you go there and don't feel comfortable with the person that you're buying the car from, you might walk away because you have some hesitations. So present yourself in a, you know, in a good manner, and, you know, that will really help when it comes to selling cars. So the last point is closing the sale, getting the deal done. Now, this is probably the most exciting part, isn't it? Getting the deal done. It's the buzz that everyone loves. It's the buzz that I love. It makes you want to keep doing deals and selling more cars. So what do? You know, I have to read customers, and it's one of those ones where everyone's different. Some customers like to walk around the car in silent and, you know, just, you know, do things their own way. Or you have other customers who, you know, love to know all the details, all the facts and figures, miles per gallon, 0 to 60 of the car. So, you know, be prepared for all types of customers. But what I will say is, before you go out for the viewing, go through the service history and go through the MOT. This will sort of give you up-to-date knowledge on the car. So when the customer asks you, you know, you have those answers ready for them. You know, they'll ask you, when was the cam belt last done? When was the last oil change? If you don't know these things off the top of your mind and you say, you know, I need to go check, you don't sound professional, you don't sound like, you know, you're that knowledgeable, and you just sound like you're not interested in selling the product. So make sure you could do these things before you know, go out for the viewing. It just shows you're interested in, you know, what you're doing, and at the same time it just helps build that relationship with the person whilst they are there, because, you know, everyone's a stranger when you first meet them. So it's important that they feel that, you know, they're buying a car off someone who knows what they're talking about, because if they don't feel, you know, comfortable, you know, the customer could just walk away. So it's really important, you know, that you have this knowledge, and just be honest as well. You know, people really underestimate, you know, how far being honest can get you, because if the customer feels you're lying to them about something, that's it. You know, once they feel you're lying to them, they're going to walk away. If I was buying a car and I was in the position I felt the dealer is lying to me, I would walk away from that vehicle, because I would think, if they're lying to me about something, what else are they lying about? So always just be honest, guys, and it will help you build relationships, which are really important when it comes to selling cars. Right, guys, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it was an insightful one for you guys, because I really wanted to get across, you know, some good knowledge to you guys of how to get involved with the business. So hopefully I've done my job right, and you've taken some tips away from here, and have the confidence to, you know, take that leap into buying and selling cars, because, you know, it's a really fun business to get involved in. I love my job. Half the time it doesn't even feel like work, and, you know, that's the best thing about it, you know, doing what you enjoy. So yeah, guys, remember to like the video if you have, and also don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.